Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, which means it's time for another Salty Saturday episode. And I am your frustrated host, Matthew Kadish, as always, coming at you this fine morning. And just to remind you guys that Salty Saturdays are a chill stream. So, we look at chat, we monitor chat. So, any topic you guys want to throw out there or any comment you want to make, we'll feature it on the live stream. We'll add you to the conversation. But we got a lot of really fun and interesting stuff to talk about this morning, but I'm really excited to introduce my co-hosts here. So with us as always is Danny the Dork Knight. How you doing this morning, Danny?
Good morning. Doing all right. Still working on my first cup of coffee.
Very good. And our special guest this morning is the one and only Michael Crawford, aka Salty Trekker. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. My lawyers reached out to you about the name thing yet?
No, not yet. So
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Michael used to go by Anti-Trekker.
Yes.
And then he unilaterally decided to join the Salty Nerd trademark and go Salty Trekker. But I actually have a bone to pick with you about that because as a way to say no hard feelings, he sent us some actual salt. And
Yes.
I have with me the Insanity Loco salt that Michael sent us. And this has been the bane of my existence since we received it because
Yes.
this stuff is no joke. This is super, super inferno on your tongue. And my girlfriend Jude has been cooking with it ever since we got it, which means that I have had some very spicy meals thanks to Mr. Salty Trekker here.
For those of you that know your spice, that stuff is actually infused with Carolina Reaper. So it is very serious spice. So
Very serious.
Spice.
One time she made something that I couldn't eat. I literally could not eat it because she had used too much of this salt on it.
It will clear your sinuses. It will.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Michael. I really appreciate you introducing this.
But I gave you the
horrible
mild
thing.
salt too.
Yeah, well, she doesn't use that in her cooking. She uses I just think she likes to torture me.
Yes.
Is all. Excuse me. So normally Matt Vader is on our Saturday live streams, but unfortunately, this being Super Bowl weekend, his day job took him away from us. He had to work until 4 a.m., and so he just isn't currently awake right now.
Which I'm really disappointed. I was hoping to meet Vader. So
Yeah, and he was looking forward to chatting with you, but he texted me at midnight last night. He's like, "Dude, I don't think I'm going to be able to make the live stream because they're keeping me for an extra shift during the graveyard."
Yeah.
Apparently, they just had a bunch of high rollers in the casino.
He works at a casino?
Yeah, he's a security surveillance guy at a casino.
Okay.
And apparently they just had a bunch of high rollers dropping huge bets all night, and they needed all hands on deck to make sure there was no cheating going on. So unfortunately...
Oh, man. It would have been so awesome to talk to him about that last episode of Discovery.
I don't think he's watched all the... I think he's only watched the first episode of season 4. So
we've got to get him to watch that last episode, though.
Well, you know what we got to get him is we got to get him off of his day job. And for those of you out there, help us get to 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel so that Matt Vader can get a tattoo on his butt of the Salty Nerd logo in celebration. But also be sure to join the members area because we're trying to get to the point where we can bring Matt Vader on the podcast full time. And he needs to replace his income that he's currently getting from his day job to do that.
And get to 50,000 subs, and he'll get a tattoo of Lore Reloaded on his butt.
We can do that too. And if you want to help out, you can go to Dragon Champions and download that app because we have a sponsorship agreement with them where if you go to saltynerd.com/DC, you can download the game. It's free to play. It's a fantasy adventure hero collector game, kind of in the vein of World of Warcraft. So if you're a big World of Warcraft fan, ever played that game, this is a really fun game. It's free to play. It's got microtransactions in it, but you don't really need to spend money to enjoy it. I play it every day. I've been playing it since launch. It's a couple guys in Russia started it in their garage, and they've grown this game to a really fun thing to do. So if you go there, you download the game, and use the promo code SALTY, You can get a fun little starter pack with character shards and gold and equipment and all that stuff to upgrade your heroes so that you can play against other players and also do some fun quests and raids and stuff like that. So it's kind of like an MMO, but a lot more casual. You can kind of pick it up and put it down as you need to. All right, guys. So with all the pitching out of the way, let's talk about our first topic. But real quick, I just want to acknowledge everyone who's in the chat. Joker Voice, thank you, sir. You're always here. Dragon Buddy, good to see you. Eric Falconer, good to see you too. You were on my Thursday stream as well. Yes. Justin Proper, friend of the podcast. Thank you for being here. Press Play Streaming Studios, Dragon Buddy, and all the rest of you who are lurking while watching this. Thank you so much for showing up. We really appreciate it. And be sure to, give us some feedback while we're doing the show, because we really rely on you guys in chat to kind of keep us on track and keep things interesting. So the first thing we're going to be talking about today is the Book of Boba Fett finale. The 7th episode dropped last Friday, giving us the quote-unquote epic conclusion to the Book of Boba Fett storyline. Michael, why don't we start with you? What did you think of the Book of Boba Fett finale?
Well, I really liked Mandalorian season 2.5. And I think that what this series, this 7 it's kind of funny because it was 7 episodes long. We really got about 2.5 episodes of good, solid Boba Fett content, maybe. And I think what they really showed us is that they had no idea what they wanted to do with Boba Fett. And so except that they wanted to have him ride a Rancor. You know, that they knew they wanted to have him ride a Rancor. And they knew this was going to be a lead into Mandalorian season 3. And so as far as the finale was concerned, a lot of pew pew bang bang. It was decently enough made. I would expect that from Robert Rodriguez. But I was not particularly emotionally engaged because a lot of these characters, except for Mandalorian and Grogu, and honestly, it's funny. The characters that I was emotionally attached to are characters from The Mandalorian, not characters from Book of Boba Fett. Because Mando, Grogu, I can't remember her name, but the mechanic, and her droids, and all the characters that they brought in from Mandalorian, I cared about in the middle of this battle. All the characters that they brought in from Book of Boba Fett, I didn't care about. I mean, like the big indestructible Wookiee that's hurt. Now he's not hurt. Now he's dead, but he's not dead. Okay, whatever. The super mighty Morphin Vespa Rangers. I really didn't care about them. With their 2-mile-an-hour chases through Mos Espa and all that. I did not care about them at all. And they were the most non-Star Wars-y characters ever to appear in Star Wars. So honestly, all the new stuff that they brought into this series was a complete misfire to me. But all the stuff they brought back from Book of Boba Fett worked. So it was a very mixed bag.
I agree. Danny, what did you think of the Boba Fett finale?
I'm expecting to see Boba Fett riding a Rancor toy pretty soon.
Yeah.
You're usually the one who's the optimist.
I know. I know, but just so much of it did not make sense to me. First of all, like, why listen to those little bratty kids when he was like, "Hey, let's go back to the palace"? I mean, his ship is there, the Rancor's already there.
Why didn't he get his ship and just blow the crap out of it?
Right, I was about to say that. Like, why in the world didn't he, instead of getting the Rancor, other than I guess they wanted to show us him riding it, why didn't he just use the damn ship? You know what I mean? At the end, or there's just so much. Like, even at the end of it, Boba Fett has this throwaway line of like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's something to the effect of like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or maybe this isn't for me, or something like that. You remember what I'm talking about when he's talking to Fennec Shan at the end?
Oh yeah, and
like,
she says, "If not us, who?"
Yeah, and it just, it just,
and it's like, what do you mean? What you're worried about? Who's going to clean up Tatooine? You're a thug.
Yeah, there were so many things like they bring in Cobb Bane just to kill him, which I didn't like, and there was no emotional stakes there. Like if so like if it had turned out that when Cad Bane told him that the Pikes actually killed his Tusken family, right?
Right.
And then but so and then Boba Fett doesn't get the revenge on him. Fennec Shan is the one that assassinates him.
Oh,
and then at the end when they have their fight, their standoff at the end where Boba Fett kills him, you didn't really, I don't know, they didn't make me care. They didn't tell enough of the backstory. I haven't watched, and I get a lot of shit from this from my friends, I haven't watched any of the animated stuff at all, so I wasn't familiar with this character, but he looked badass and I was intrigued by him, especially with his intro. He comes in and he kills he seems to kill yeah yeah, that was, I don't know, man. Like there was so much of this is frustrating. The only thing I liked was the Mandalorian stuff, and I feel bad for anybody who likes Mandalorian who doesn't watch this, because they're going to be completely lost.
Yeah, like why is Grogu back?
Yeah,
Start watching one of the big issues with this series was that, like, if you didn't watch any of the Clone Wars cartoons, like the Cad Bane appearance just lacked any impact whatsoever. You were just like, oh, who's this guy? And then like
other than he's a cool gunslinger.
Yeah. And then like he shows up at the end of the second to last episode, and so like you don't really have any development with him like as an antagonist to Boba Fett. Like they kind of hinted that there was like some history there.
Yeah, he said something like, here's your final lesson, or
but like it was never expanded upon. And we talked about this in my Bad Writing live stream on Thursday, where if they had done this properly, they would have introduced Cad Bane in the first episode, have him be the direct antagonist to Boba Fett as like the enforcer for the rival cartel, and he would have been the one who slaughtered the Tuskens.
Yeah, that would have been so much better, because
and so there was like an emotional, stake in the final showdown between those two.
Oh, we got a bot in the chat.
One of the I've been getting those a lot lately.
Yeah, Joker,
I don't know if you've been doing this, but you can set your live streams to just automatically only allow subscribers to post in your chat.
Well, if we did that, then we probably have no one in the chat. No,
but you can set it so that they don't have to be subscribed for any length of time.
Yeah, but the thing about getting the Slave One, I refuse to call it the fire spray, to basically take out those droidicas with the shields. All it would have required is one line of dialogue that says like,
the ship's being repaired or something.
Well, no, like the ship's energy weapons wouldn't be able to pierce those shields. So like if they had just made that clear and then said like we need to figure out a way to manually fight these things,
right?
Then the Rancor would have made sense. I'm kind of glad that they paid off the Rancor, because like they made a big deal of Danny Trejo showing up and giving him that thing.
You know what I wanted though? I'm sorry. What I think would have been cool is if you had Boba Fett flying in the ship while Danny Trejo rode the Rancor into town at the same time.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
He like calls him up. He's like, Trejo, get my Rancor over here.
Yeah.
Or just let the Rancor loose on the town to create a distraction while he went and got the ship or something.
Yeah.
All right, but that way you could have your cake and eat it too. Is that Boba's not quite ready to ride the Rancor, but Trejo has obviously got a bond with the creature from before.
Yeah.
I also found it funny that so like we've set up that Beskar armor can like tank laser blasts, and Mando and Boba Fett are both getting hit left and right because they're doing their whole Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid thing. But then Black Chrysanthemum comes on the scene, and he's like got like his little bandolier, and he's just tanking laser blasts left and right, like they're like bee stings or something.
Yeah,
And,
like he was shaking him off like the Hulk. That was
and
weird.
I was like, one of
Yeah,
those
what's
things is enough to
Wookiee?
kill a stormtrooper when they're shot in the chest.
Mhm.
How is Black Chrysanthemum just taking this
And
left and
do
right?
you notice he's like limping? His foot is useless, and then 5 minutes later, he's just, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
There
and
was
it's like, that there was a lot of inconsistency in this episode.
Yeah, and I like Matt said, I usually am the more optimistic one, but this was just such a huge
was a-
letdown, you know. For
I,
me.
I really get the feeling that I don't think that they were planning on doing this series. I mean,
No, it's supposed to be a movie originally.
well,
When they
I
when
don't.
they announced the Han Solo movie and all those other movies, this was going to be a movie, a Boba Fett movie.
But see, I don't even see that there's enough material here for a movie.
I mean, I agree. In fact, what I was going to say earlier that I forgot that just popped back into my head was the was it Cad Bane? If you had him from the beginning, like Kadish was saying, you have all these flashbacks anyway. I would have loved some more. Like they could have easily made him the main antagonist, woven him in through, like maybe show us some montages of him training Boba or whatever their history is. I don't even know what their history is, but just to make us care more. Because like at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about anybody but Mando and Grogu. You know. So,
A big issue I had with the finale was the return of Jake Skywalker, where he basically just tells Grogu to fuck off, sends R2 to drop him off on Tatooine. How he knew Mando was on Tatooine, I have no idea. But like you
would
think
Jake
that,
Skywalker?
Yeah, Jake Skywalker.
He's being a jerk.
You'd think that Luke would deliver Grogu to Mando just to make sure he got there safely. But I know why they didn't have Luke Skywalker appear in the finale. But at the same time, I'm like, that was not a good look for Luke.
Yeah, it was weird, right? Yeah.
I think they did it because they don't want to reveal too early that Grogu actually chose the saber.
You think he chose the saber?
I absolutely think he chose the saber.
Really?
Well, then why isn't he training with Luke?
Yeah, why is he there with the shirt?
You know how Jedi are. Everything is a test, right? And when I think that when Luke because notice, if he chose the armor, why didn't they just show him choosing the armor?
Because they wanted you to wonder what he was going to choose going into the finale.
Right, but then why didn't they just, at the beginning of this one, have Grogu pointing at the armor or something? But
they had to get into the action.
Well, but then they could have done a quick flashback when there was a million reasons to show him choosing the armor in this, because people would.
I want to say Vader said that, somebody said this recently. I think it was Vader last week, that there was no way, from a canon point of view, Grogu was going to be Luke's first student because it's already been set up that his first student was Ben.
Right. But I think Ben was the first student at the school.
Right, which is what they were building in that episode.
But Grogu is actually Luke's first student now. It's just that Grogu left before the school was complete. But I think that what happened was that he laid the two out. He chooses the saber, and that's the signal to Luke that Grogu is now mature enough to go on his own, because he doesn't have the ridiculous attachment to the Mandalorian to where he's going to let that get in the way of making the right decisions.
I respectfully disagree. I know this is our first time meeting, but I couldn't disagree with you more.
I'm just thinking within now, and this is me being the optimist here.
Right.
This is me thinking within the lore of Star Wars how it would make sense for Luke to send Grogu to the Mandalorian.
Maybe they're just setting up the whole asshole Luke that we never knew existed until these shitty sequels, and Luke got butthurt and was like, "All right, kid, fuck off." R2, take him.
Well, Michael, the reason I don't think you're correct is because that would require sophisticated writers to come up with something like that.
Well,
and we've proven that Lucasfilm does not employ those people.
Well, except that, keep in mind that the people behind this show are Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Robert Rodriguez. These guys, while Book of Boba Fett was clearly a rushed job, the main guys behind these shows are not complete idiots.
No, but they
And
are being corralled by Kathleen Kennedy, who is.
well, I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is an idiot, but I do think that she hired one in Ryan Johnson. And so I don't think Kathleen Kennedy's an idiot. I mean, if you look at her body of work, she's a great administrator. She should not be on the creative side.
Wasn't it Spielberg that said she was really great at getting coffee?
I don't know if he said that.
Was Spielberg.
That was Spielberg, yeah.
But she's a great administrator. That's what she does. And as long as she is doing the administrative stuff, there's no one better. But when she tries to delve her hand into the creative side of things, that's when things go awry.
Right. I mean, like everything she's supposed to be the creative head of, like, has gone tits up or disappeared or been handed over to somebody else.
But when we look at what we see as far as the creative team that she seems to be somewhat hands off with the Mandalorian side of things.
Sorry, I was laughing at the comment, not you.
Okay.
Sorry.
They have a good. I mean, look at what Filoni has done in the animated side of things. I'm not a huge fan of the animated side of things, but there is a huge. I've watched some of the Clone Wars. I'm in like season 3 or 4, but there's a lot of intricate storytelling there, and there's a huge fan base behind it.
There's what, 3 of them now. There's the Clone Wars and Rebels and Bad Batch. Is that right?
Yeah, and a rabid fan base behind it because of all of these stuff that makes what I'm suggesting very basic, and so I think that what I'm suggesting would totally fit in as far as what we've seen in Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and Rebels.
And I really do. She's one of our. If you want to join us on Discord, it's saltinerdiscord.com. But one of our Discord members, Taja, has been giving me shit. I'm sure Kate has just seen it ever since we've joined the Discord about not watching the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch.
I get crap for that all the time.
Yeah, and there's only, you
got so many hours.
I need to stop.
And there's 700 hours of that material. So right? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. So someday, hopefully, I'll get to it.
Well, overall, I feel like the finale to Book of Boba Fett was enjoyable. Like, I did enjoy the action, but because of the detour for the previous 2 episodes leading up to the finale, because a good arc would have been, driving straight to that finale by showing like all the behind the scenes, like politicking and the obstacles being created and stuff like that. Instead, we get a side quest with the Mandalorian for 2 episodes.
Right.
And then we go into this finale where it kind of tied the entire season together, but the season was so uneven with its pacing because the first 4 episodes
really disjointed.
It was all like flashbacks and then like some of the mob story and then 2 episodes with the Mandalorian and then finally like the finale, which
was it you or Vader had that really good idea of how they should have handled it was like instead of putting these episodes of Mandalorian in, basically have the last episode of Mandalorian, or have the first episode. What was it? 3? The one that's like actually Mandalorian season 3, episode 1, whatever the number of that episode was, at Book of Boba Fett. Have that be the season premiere of 3, and what did he say? I think it was Vader, where he was like, and they just reference it. So like he shows up, but they don't show the story. They wait until.
Right. Well, I advocated for like they should have weaved in Mandalorian as a B story throughout the season. So like instead of the flashbacks with the Tuskens, we see what Mando is up to while Boba Fett is making his power play. And I also thought that there was a missed opportunity. We could have seen
Mando walking around on Halo for a couple of minutes in episode 1 and not knowing what he was doing.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a missed opportunity here in the sense that in terms of Boba Fett's arc, like they really tried to retcon him as a hero, as a good guy.
Yeah, which I hated.
Despite the fact that he's like trying to build a criminal
No,
empire.
like, oh my god, like,
but
this is a man Darth Vader had to fucking say.
Let me finish, Danny.
Sorry.
So the idea here is that with a character like that, you either have a redemption arc where like he starts off as a bad guy and becomes a good guy, or you have a revenge arc where basically he remains like a bad guy and just goes around killing everyone who ever wronged him. And I would have liked to have seen a situation where maybe Mos Espa employed him to be like the sheriff, and that was the motivation for him taking on all these cartels and stuff like that, if they wanted to reorient him as more of a hero. What were you saying, Danny?
Well, before I get to that, because I kind of forgot, but like, speaking of motivation, what the hell is his motivation? Like that, like, do you know, Matt?
His motivation is that he's the main character of a show now.
Well, he said that he blamed Boba for him getting thrown into the Sarlacc, and that he wanted to basically pull a Daenerys and break the wheel.
You mean Jabba?
Yeah, he blamed Jabba for getting him thrown into the Sarlacc, and then he wanted to pull
it wasn't Jabba
Daenerys
that did
Targaryen.
it.
I know it wasn't.
It was Han going, oopsies.
It was like it was a freaking accident. Anyway,
yeah, he wanted to redo things so that people like him wouldn't be so disposable anymore, and that was kind of his motivation. But it was a very weak motivation.
Can I say, here's my problem, and this is where, I know that I take a somewhat unpopular opinion on this. I don't generally like stories about bad guys, right? I don't play Grand Theft Auto. I don't like The Godfather. I'm not into stuff about the dark side. I don't want to watch the seedy underbelly. Now, the best thing you could do with Boba Fett is what they did with The Mandalorian, which is that you start out with a horrible person, which is what you did with The Mandalorian, but then the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian was a redemption arc. Because the first episode, he comes face to face to absolutely pure innocence, and he realizes by the end of the 3rd episode, I can't do this. And so then he becomes the protector of the child instead of the ruthless killer. And then that becomes his new persona from that point on. Now Mandalorian is no longer a evil character, he is the ultimate protector. They needed something like that with Boba if they want to make him a heroic character. Otherwise, even though I'm not into The Godfather, into The Sopranos kind of guy, you got to make Boba Fett. Even when I was a kid, everybody knew Boba Fett. Whoa, like Danny was saying a minute ago, he's the guy that Darth Vader had to say, "Come on, man, no disintegrations, buddy."
This is what I was about to. Yeah, exactly.
Know,
like, this is supposed to be somebody so vicious and vile that the man who killed younglings. He's like, hey, dude, man, tone it down.
Yeah. So if Darth Vader's telling him to tone it down, if this guy is absolutely without a moral compass, then either you need to start out with a redemption arc a la Mandalorian, or you need to absolutely make him the killer. You got to make this a show like Dexter or The Sopranos or something like that.
And that's what I thought we were getting, was something like The Sopranos. I was so excited when we saw the trailers for this. And then what we got was like,
all of a sudden
old man Boba Fett pussified. Like, he even says like somebody, was it, I think it was Cad Bane, was like, you've gotten soft in your old age, and he says, like, we all do. Bullshit. We don't, like, no.
And because you know what, with Tony Soprano, he would have just pulled out his gun and shot the guy.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I'm not one of these hardcore, diehard Boba Fett fans. Like, I was talking about my friend Taja earlier. She's got a Boba Fett tattoo, like, on her collarbone area.
Oh, I bet she's thinking about getting that changed.
Right? Because, like, they've just, in my opinion, which don't mean much, I'm just a fat white guy screaming into the void of the internet. They've ruined the character of Boba Fett for me. They took away all the mystique. It's like you guys were joking when you were reviewing Showgirls. It's like there were so many boobs in that it took away the mystique, and it wasn't,
You became desensitized to the
yeah,
movie.
that's like, yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway.
and unfortunately, even though this is a Lucasfilm production, not a Disney production, I think Lucasfilm is taking a cue from Disney's pattern of what they do with villains. Like if you look at movies like Maleficent and Cruella and stuff, where they try to make villains into heroes. And they try to, and like Maleficent is just an abomination of a movie. Now, is it a horrible movie? No,
I
but
haven't
it's,
seen it. That's the Angelina Jolie
yeah,
one?
it's
Okay,
not
yeah.
a horrible movie, but the fact that it's about Maleficent, one of the scariest animated villains of all time, and they turn her into a sympathetic, heroic character who's just trying to help poor little Snow White.
No, but I don't know.
Or not Snow White, but whatever the
Whoever.
yeah. Or
Sleeping
maybe
Beauty, was it?
Yeah, whoever. Oh, maybe it was Snow White.
I don't know.
But whoever it was. But Maleficent was the good guy, and it's like no,
No.
no,
No, I really
you don't
wanted.
do that.
Yeah, I really wish. I wanted to see Boba Fett be like. I really thought this was going to be the Sopranos in the Star Wars universe,
Right.
and Boba Fett was going to be a cold-blooded, ruthless, hard ass,
Right.
and that's what I was really looking forward to.
It would be like,
Instead, we got Boba Fett taking a bath in a bantha tank most of the fucking time, and with all these ridiculous flashbacks and nonsensical story. And
you know what I call this series? Dances with Banthas.
All right, so real quick, guys, why don't we give our overall thoughts of the first season of Book of Boba Fett and whether you'd recommend it? Michael, take it away.
5 episodes of crap, which is the bread, with 2 episodes of superb Mandalorian, which is the meat, makes for an edible sandwich. I would recommend it.
All right, Danny?
I would only recommend fans of The Mandalorian watch the 2 Mandalorian episodes, and you can skip the rest because it's all inconsequential.
So I actually really enjoyed the finale episode. I felt like the first 4 episodes of the season weren't all that great, but the Mandalorian episodes were pretty good, and I had fun with the finale. So like overall, I'd say I enjoyed this season. And I would recommend that if you're a Star Wars fan and if you like The Mandalorian, go check this out. But I don't think it was a good show. I think that they made a lot of mistakes and it just fell flat despite what they were trying to accomplish. And it lacked kind of like pre-planning and vision, I think. It did feel rushed. It did feel kind of thrown together, unfortunately.
Also, I'm going to modify my thing slightly because you did remind me one thing. 4 episodes of crap, that's the bread. 1 episode of meh, that's the cheese, that's the finale, and 2 episodes that were really good, that's the meat, the Mandalorian.
I mean, I get I like the King Kong shit in the finale.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
All right, so keeping with Star Wars, we got some news about the Ahsoka show coming out.
Yes.
They have cast the show's big bad.
Who is the big bad?
Ray Stevenson.
Oh, Punisher.
Yeah, who formerly played the Punisher, and he was also in Thor.
Thor, yeah.
And Rome, the HBO original series.
Mm-hmm. What's his character? Who's he playing?
Okay, well, let me get to that.
Well, that's what we want to know. Come on.
So this news just dropped this morning, and basically this Hollywood Reporter article has confirmed that Ahsoka is going to start shooting in April, and that even though nothing's known about the show's plot, it has to do with Ahsoka journeying from one end of the galaxy to the other in search of Grand Admiral Thrawn.
And how many guess she's going to go to every desert planet in the galaxy?
Possibly. But,
I love that they're bringing Thrawn in. Have they cast him yet, or?
No, there's no word on if Thrawn's even going to be in the series, but Stevenson is going to be playing an Imperial Admiral who is not Thrawn. They have made that clear in this article that he is not Thrawn.
Which means he's Thrawn.
but he will be playing the role of like the series villain. So he's going to be the one who is causing all types of trouble for Ahsoka. So what do you guys think of this news? What do you think of the Ahsoka show? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm definitely looking forward to it because Look, I enjoy The Mandalorian a lot, but I come for the spaceships. I stay for the Jedi. I want me some Jedi. And look, uh, Digi Luke is cool as far as the fact that we get to see that
Did,
Luke was not completely crapped on, because we know what happened in the movies.
we didn't even touch on that. Didn't he look great in that?
Oh,
In that
he looked much better in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it's cool having digital Luke. I do, but we can't. They're not going to do digital Luke forever. So having an Ahsoka series, I want to see her dual wielding and kicking some butt and taking some names.
And Rosario Dawson is
Yeah,
God,
and she
drop dead gorgeous.
she absolutely nailed it. She looks great. She sounds great. I want to see her kicking some butt, and I want to see more Jedi as time goes on.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I know this is a little bit of a tangent. What I ultimately really want to see is eventually. And I don't know if they've got the balls to build up to this. I want to see Din Djarin and Grogu lead a new order of Jedi Mandalorian hybrids. Because
Take my money. Take my money.
I'm telling you, think about it. They go to Mandalore, because that's why I said he chose the saber. I guarantee you, Grogu's got that saber. And imagine one of these days, the two of them fighting back to back. He's got the dark saber, Grogu's got the light saber. Dark and light, back to back, bam. Come on.
Dude, you just inspired me. I'm going
Danny-
to draw that.
Danny, I'm going to have to jump in here real quick because Matt Vader 74 has entered
Hey, Matt, you made it,
bro.
You sound like Marge Simpson there for a second. You're like,
Bro. What a morning.
hey, man, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, me too. Mr. Salty Trekker, how are you?
Not too bad. How you doing, Mr. Vader?
I'm all right. I'm
So,
tired.
Matt, we were just talking about how the Ahsoka TV series starts shooting in April,
Yes.
and they have cast Ray Stevenson as the big bad, who's playing some type of Imperial Admiral, who's going to be making Ahsoka's life difficult.
Would
Now,
his name,
I'm
would
wondering-
his name happen to be Thrawn?
No,
No.
they said he's not.
Yeah, no. We just missed
No?
Which means he's I wonder if he's
Oh.
not Thrawn in the same way that we had John Harrison for Star
So-
Trek
For
Into
Dawn,
Darkness.
yeah, I was just thinking that same thing.
From now on, he will be referred to as not Thrawn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Did you guys pick up in episode 6 of Book of Boba Fett that it felt like Luke and Ahsoka had some history, and I'm thinking they may retcon some stuff where Ahsoka helped train Luke and taught him how to build his lightsaber between
Yeah.
Empire
That
and
could
Jedi.
be. Well, she
Yeah, and I
and
like
I
that
do
scene.
like
Where
the.
yeah.
I
Go
thought
ahead.
my favorite line now, especially after watching some Clone Wars, is that when she said, "I'm a friend of the family," because she is the only person that was truly close to both Vader and Luke.
Yeah, and she even said, like, she says that line, something about being like your father. Like, it just,
Yeah.
it felt like the way they were talking, it felt like there was history there. And then the concern that he had, he's like, hey, am I going to see you again? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
That there's a genuine love there, but it's not like a romance love. It's a
Yeah.
I love their relationship. I'd like to see more of that, to be honest, because she respects him as a master, and she doesn't want to usurp his authority.
she's kind of like Auntie Ahsoka.
Yeah, but she's
Auntie
also
Ahsoka.
there as she's kind of as a consultant, because she was there for the old masters.
Yeah.
So, are you guys at all jazzed about the Ahsoka show, or do you?
Oh, yeah.
Are you like just give me Andor and more Mandalorian?
No, man, I'm super
No.
stoked for Ahsoka. 'Cause like he
Andor,
was saying, the
yeah.
Jedi shit, man. Like, that's where we're
Yeah.
going to see it, is in that show.
Honestly, as far as Andor is concerned, I'll take a bathroom break for that one. No, thank you.
Vader,
I'm,
are you excited about the show?
I want to be, but I'm not, because if we get more of what we just watched the last couple months, I'm going to be really, really upset, because you guys already talked about Boba Fett, right?
Yeah,
But,
Yeah.
we were all in pretty
that-
much agreement that
that-
Boba Fett was a
that-
hot mess.
That show is trash. It's a hot garbage fire. So if that's the standard that we got from now on, no, I'm not looking forward to anything from Star Wars. If they up their game and we get a little more cinematic and a little more of a thought process through on these shows, then yeah, I'll look forward to it. But man, they got to up their game. They got to up their game. I need more than filler episodes from Clone Wars with real people.
See,
Yeah.
I think Boba Fett was a filler series.
It absolutely was.
I think they just were like, "Oh, quick, do a Boba Fett series. Everybody wants Boba Fett." And they're like,
You think
"No."
that had to do with COVID, or what do you think that was?
My impression, I'm sure I kind of missed this discussion, but my impression of especially the last half of Boba Fett was that somebody at Disney figured out that they wrote their cash cow off the show, and they had to insert him back in
Grogu?
somehow. Yeah, yeah.
Real quick,
So-
Joker pointed out that Lars Mikkelsen has been cast as Thrawn, and he does the voice of the character in Rebels.
Is that a confirmed
cool.
casting, or is that just what people are
You see
saying?
that color in blue?
According to Joker voice, it's official. Also,
And he is the resident authority on Star Wars.
he is Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Well, you can
Mads
see it.
Mikkelsen was in Rogue One as Jen Erso's father.
Mhm.
So I just
God,
thought
Mads
that was
Mikkelsen
Rogue-
is also a serial
Rogue One
killer.
is so
I'm
good.
absolutely convinced of it.
well. You ever watch Hannibal? I
Yes.
can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was our Star Wars talk for today. Let's talk about another science fiction property, Futurama.
Oh, cool.
So Futurama is getting a revival. Matt Vader, you were kind of the one who focused on the story. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, dude, I'm like really not prepared. So Hulu is making
Yes.
they're doing a revival with all the original showrunners and voice casts.
Except for Bender. What's up
Well,
with that?
the article, the stuff that I saw said that they're in final
I think
contract negotiations
I
with
think
the
a few
guy.
days ago he walked out. I think it's
Oh, did he?
official that-
Yeah,
that he's
yeah.
out
So
there
yeah,
on
so
my phone.
that puts a different spin on the thing. So do we want to watch a Futurama revival without the real Bender in it? I don't know if I do. But they're that's what they're doing.
It's
So-
a continuation, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
an
Now, are they
next
using
season.
the same writers?
I believe so. I think everything
Okay.
is still the same except for
depends.
Bender, I guess. So,
I'll say this: if there are no sacred cows,
mhm.
and they can get away with it, and they are just as biting and mean as they were with Fox, and they do it to John, here's what they should do.
Mhm.
They should, because if John walked out on the negotiation table because maybe he wanted too much money because, hey, it's Hulu and we don't have a huge budget or whatever. And come on, John, it's an iconic role. Everybody loves you as Bender. But he won't do it, blah, blah, blah. So they come back and the professor says, "Good news, everybody, we're back," right? And like they always do some kind of stupid thing when they come back. And then Bender comes in, and of course they'll use some clip of him from a previous episode where he's like, "Yeah, I'm back, baby," and then all of a sudden you have like his butt explode, and he'll be like, "My ass, my beautiful ass," and then they'll take him into the operating room. And they'll say, "Oh, well, I'm afraid your voice chip is gone." and then they'll just put in another voice. And they're like, "Well, nobody liked your old voice anyway." And then they'll spend the rest of the episode just saying, "Man, I like your new voice so much better." Like every time Bender says something, they'll just keep saying how much, "Man, your new voice is so much better."
I feel like Disney needs to hire Michael to take over some of these franchises.
Right? Yeah, no, you have some good ideas, but
That's what, remember, they did that to Fox. Because remember, they had Torgo's executive powder, and they ran that into the ground when Fox booted them. And so then they did this whole thing with Torgo's executive powder made from ground executives. And so I'm just saying, you know what? Fine, John, you're going to walk out. We are going to bury you with it. So that's what
I mean,
should do.
I hope it's not like he's got some weird thing in his past and he doesn't want to be in the era of cancel culture, he doesn't want to like.
Well, he's still doing work.
Danny,
Is he?
listen, every single one of us could be canceled for something
Yeah.
in our past.
Oh, I've said enough on
every
your
one of us.
podcasts
So
alone.
I say stuff every day that could get me canceled. So it's if people are worried about that, they're in the wrong line of work.
I don't worry about getting canceled because
No, I don't either.
Quite frankly, if they do, they do.
If people try to cancel me, in the vein of what we're talking about, they can kiss my shiny metal ass. I don't care. So
Which should
bring
have
it.
a salty nerd tattoo on it once we hit 10,000 subscribers.
I don't know. I was going to say people better up their game because the trend is not there. My ass will be tattoo free.
Yeah, I think Vader feels safe.
I might be starting a new trend though, Vader, because I said that when you guys get 50,000 subscribers, that you're going to get a tattoo of Lore Reloaded naked on your ass.
Oh my God, no! My wife would never go for that.
Well, it's too late. They've already made the commitment.
I have not signed that contract.
Well, it is funny to note that Hulu is going to be the home of both the Orville and Futurama. So that might be.
Oh my God! Did you guys see that Orville clip they released?
I have not.
It's like
you mean the
minutes
rehash of the battle
whatever
from Identity?
Sure, I don't know. I love that show so damn much.
I
am starving for.
I'm surprised
any
people
kind of
still
content.
remember that show. It's been off the air for a long time.
I loved the show when it first came out, but here's the problem, and this is I'm over that show at this point. And I know that's sacrilege to say, but hear me out for just a second. And I know that this is on a little bit of a rabbit hole, but when the show first came out, I loved it for the same reason that everybody else loved it.
It was Star Trek.
It looks like Star Trek. It feels like Star Trek. It sounds like Star Trek, and it came out after Star Trek Discovery, and so we were like, oh. Star Trek, thank you. Give me more, give me more, give me more, right? And so we were like, finally, we got some Star Trek. So then I went back and rewatched it. And you know what really pissed me off? It is the worst aspects of Star Trek, episode after episode after episode, and we don't even realize it because it looks so good and it sounds so good and it's pretty and it reminds us of Star Trek so much that we forget about the fact that this show is preachy and this show is talking down to us and over and over. Like if you look at the first season, all but 2 episodes, I am not making this up, all but 2 episodes of the first season are hard-hitting, on the nose, attacking conservatism or religion. Every episode.
But then you have the gems like where they're attacking social media and like and things like that. I
in
really
that
love
episode they attack conservatism, you know what they attack social media along with it. Whoop-de-doo. But just because they have the social media angle was clever, but that doesn't excuse the fact that this is like if you go back and you watch the worst episodes of season 1 of TNG, and that's every episode, except that it's better written.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry,
better special effects.
But the problem is that then you go back and you look at season 2. Well, season 2, it has the advantage of having Identity, and Identity was great. That's the one with the Kaylon invasion, right? When the Kaylons actually attacked and all that, and you had the epic space battle that made Sacrifice of Angels look like absolute crap. And Identity was awesome, but it was sandwiched with a bunch of anti-religion and anti-conservatism crap. And over, you know what the regular theme of Orville is? Every advanced race gives up religion, except for the Krill. And the Krill worship Avis and stab heads in a basket.
Yeah, the car rental place.
Yeah. And so, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember that gag, yeah.
I am done with the Orville and the fact that, if they start out, look, I'm going to watch season 3 when it comes out. Now it's pushed back to June. But if they start out by making fun, by talking about how all advanced races need to give up religion, and they start out by talking about how horrible all conservatives are again, then I'm checking out, because
Man, I guess I really missed that message. Maybe I should go back and watch
that's
it.
why. Well, Dork,
you know.
I'm telling you, I didn't catch it the first time I watched it because I was just like, yes, finally Trek, and then I
Right.
went back and rewatched it, and I was like, oh crap, this is great propaganda because I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I mean that's the yeah. I mean,
That is beautiful propaganda because I didn't see it, and I'm a religious guy, and I'm a conservative guy, and I didn't see it.
I think part of it is also the actual real Star Trek that we all get to watch is so bad that we are starving for anything that at least pays somewhat of an homage to our original Trek.
Yeah.
It does look like Star Trek.
It looks better in comparison to what we're actually getting from Star Trek.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Before you got here, Vader, Salty Trekker was talking about how excited, he was bummed you weren't going to be here. He was excited to talk to you about the most recent episode of Discovery. I don't suppose you happen to have seen it, have you?
Okay, so here's my Discovery. I have not watched season 4.
Okay.
I have to hate watch Star Trek right now because I know that we do talk about it once in a while, and I have a kind of a rule that I don't like to talk about stuff unless I've watched it.
Right.
If I'm going to talk shit about something, I need to watch it just so I have context. So I do. I hate watch Star Trek right now, so I can talk about it. But I haven't watched season 4, and I started watching episode 1 of season 4, just like it was like 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
When I went to bed, and I turned it on. I got through the first 15 minutes, and then Anthony Rapp and his gang of alphabeters came on, and it was too much. It was just so in your face.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I just turned it off. I go, I'm not doing this right now. I'm in a good mood.
Let me give you a little bit of encouragement, okay? And seriously, a little bit of encouragement. While I'm not going to sit there and tell you that season 4 is classic Trek revisited or anything, because it is Discovery, but 2 of the more annoying characters are gone.
Cool.
By the time we get to the mid-season break, two of the annoying characters are gone.
Who's the other one?
Huh?
Oh, Tilly's one, but who's the other one?
I know Tilly goes and
Tilly
becomes a teacher.
And Gray is gone.
So something. I don't know. I just it's like I said,
Tilly
Gray. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That.
Yeah. Gray went to Trill. Yeah.
I fully intend to watch it. I have to get my mind in the right place to.
I understand. So that's number 1. Number 2, overall, this season is, while it's not great, I would say it's better than most seasons of Discovery.
That's a really low bar.
I know that is, but I will also say that it has some interesting conversational moments. Like I think that.
So I'm going to interrupt you, Michael.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Star Trek in the.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll get into that
of the stream real quick. I just wanted to point out that I thought that Boba Fett got Burnhamed a lot during his own show, where he had minor characters come in and basically tell him what they were going to do, and he was just like, okay,
like the palace.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I want to know what you thought of the last episode, Vader, because it took place in a casino.
Well, real quick, before we get to Star Trek, let's talk about Marvel and how Marvel shows are leaving Netflix.
Oh, no.
So the big thing here is that all of the Marvel TV shows like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and all that stuff are set to leave in March and return to Disney. And so Disney's going to have full control not only over these characters, but the series. And we've also seen Charlie Cox show up in the new... We've seen Charlie Cox show up in the new Spider-Man movie, and we've also seen Kingpin show up in the Hawkeye movie, which means that Disney and Marvel do have plans to do stuff with these characters.
Right.
I'm wondering if they're going to revive any of these shows, because I would love to see another season of Daredevil. What do you guys think?
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Well, the article, and I know that these articles are generally written by people that don't know a lot because they have full control over these characters. Netflix doesn't own the characters. Netflix simply has distribution rights to those particular shows. And the fact that the shows are being pulled off of Netflix is just part of the contract on the shows. And I don't know if the shows are going to go on Disney Plus or if they're just going to disappear into the ether. If I were Disney, I would make them disappear into the ether and do a soft reboot of the characters, and just pretend those shows never happened.
I'm kind of on the other side of that. I think that they're going to. I think originally they were probably going to do what you're saying, but now that they basically get all these properties back and all this groundwork's been done, I don't know. I just feel like they'll, I mean, we've already got Charlie Cox, we've already got Vincent D'Onofrio,
Right.
In the MCU. So,
but name another character out of the Defenders shows that people are biting to see come back.
Fuck, I'd love to see Luke Cage again. I love that.
I would love to see Luke Cage, but I'm saying that the general masses, like I think that Jessica Jones and Luke Cage worked. I really did, but first of all, but Iron Fist was a joke. And
I never even finished. I never watched the final season of Jessica Jones. The season 2 was a disappointment compared to season 1.
Yeah, season 1 was great.
Yeah,
but you see, if they did a soft reboot of the Defenders shows, rather than just take that as canonical, then you could bring back the Purple Man, because I think killing him was a big mistake. What's his face? Doctor Who did a great job, and B, you just offed a great villain.
Doctor. Oh, are you talking about Jessica Jones?
No, yeah, he's talking about David Tennant.
My brain just spazzed out. Yeah, David Tennant was great as the Purple Man,
wasn't he?
And killing him at the end of that was just so wrong.
I'm so sick of all these like stop killing your villains. It's like, in the comic books, they didn't kill him. They
there's a reason they don't kill their villains.
It's like anyway.
Vader, what do you think of this? Do you think Disney Plus will be giving us some Defenders shows really soon?
I don't know, and I'm really not super interested in any of them except Daredevil.
Punisher was badass.
Well, Punisher was cool, but
do you think? Oh, that's another thing. Do you think? Let's say they do. Let's say they add them to Disney Plus or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Do you think they'll edit them?
They'll be more family friendly for sure.
Or they'll put them on Hulu.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Or they'll put them on Hulu, which would be fine. I want a little grit, little dirt, little R-rated stuff.
Granted, though, they did get a little gritty with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well, shit, man, Mandalorian cut a dude in half.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Disney Plus is willing to get a little down and dirty. Maybe not to the level of the Defenders shows, but
I just don't understand why Disney wants to cut out such a large swath of the market by not having R-rated stuff. I mean, you just have a different.
What they're doing is they're going to have a channel on Disney Plus called Star. And Star is going to be where all the adult content is. Mm-hmm. So stuff that's PG-13.
When you say adult, I mean, are we talking about fucking Goofy or something?
You're gonna switch to Star, and like Mickey's gonna have his.
It's not NC-17. It's like
PG-13 hanging between his legs.
It's not going to be a Disney Skinamax. That'll be awesome.
For all the
hey guys, check this out. Here, boy.
That's terrible.
Right,
come here, Pluto. It's not bestiality if you're with me.
It's a mouse fucking a dog. What are you gonna do?
That got weird really fast.
All right.
Not as weird as your episode with the Showgirls, that you guys did.
The failed female crossover episode.
Yeah,
the one that was sponsored by Lubriderm.
Okay.
Oh, you had an episode sponsored by Lubriderm, man.
No,
unofficially.
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 You guys made it look like it. You kept flashing that.
So
image.
speaking of Lubriderm, let's talk about Gal Gadot's latest movie, Death on the Nile,
Very
which is-
nice segue.
which is a
Wow, how does that segue even work?
I don't know.
Because Gal Gadot, don't you want to tug one off to her with some Lubriderm? I mean, that's where my head went. I mean, shit.
So basically, Death on the Nile, it's the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, starring Kenneth Branagh as the legendary gentleman detective Hercule Poirot, based off of Agatha Christie's novel. And it stars Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer and Russell Brand and
A ton of people.
a big cast.
Yeah.
And I went and saw it in the theater last night because I'm
So
a
jealous.
murder mystery fan. Jude and I had a little date night. We went out and saw that movie together. And one of the things I loved about Murder on the Orient Express was how epic Kenneth Branagh's mustache was in that movie. Like the most epic mustache I think I've ever seen on a human being ever. And they actually nerfed the mustache in this movie. They pared it down a little bit, and it wasn't nearly as epic, but they did give the mustache a origin story. So the whole first.
So you were looking for a mustache origin story movie?
I wasn't looking for it, but I got it.
It had like 4 points on it, right? I've seen the trailer.
So like the first 10 minutes of this movie are all about how Hercule Poirot got his epic mustache. And then the first half of this movie is just rich people in Egypt partying, and they kind of set up, all the elements you need for the mystery. And then midway through the movie, the murder happens, and then it's off to the races. And Jude hates going to these mystery movies with me because I always figure them out. And I clocked what was happening about 20 minutes into the film. I turned around, I was like, "This is what's going on." She's like, "Okay,
why you got to do that?"
Why do you do that
I hate
to her?
that shit.
Every week she says you do that to her. She tells you to stop.
She was making guesses too, and so like by the end of the movie, I was proven right as usual. But that's just how my writer's brain thinks. But I actually really enjoyed this movie. It was much better than Murder on the Orient Express, I thought.
Oh wow,
it was a lot of fun. The twists and turns in the film, they didn't stick to the book exactly. So like they did take some liberties. And interestingly enough, Simon Kinberg was a writer and executive producer on this movie. And for those of you who don't know who Simon Kinberg is, he's the guy behind Apple TV's Invasion, and he was the writer and director of Dark Phoenix, the last X-Men movie.
Sorry.
So I was surprised that this movie turned out as good as it did with him. Involved.
Those are high endorsements right there.
Yeah. So the question on everyone's mind is, did Armie Hammer like end up eating any women?
So one of the funny things about this is that the movie was actually shot like 3 years ago. It was supposed to come out in 2019, and then like the COVID stuff hit. And once it got kind of delayed, all this stuff about Armie Hammer started coming out. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Armie Hammer's controversy, but he got Me Too'd. And there's a lot.
It's bad. Do you guys know about it? It's bad.
Yeah, I heard a little something.
Okay.
A lot of his accusers came out and accused him of cannibalism, and basically like him wanting to like cut up his sexual partners and eat them
while he's banging them.
Having their lower ribs surgically removed so he can eat them and stuff like that.
That's weird.
But
I'm sorry. Proof, please.
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of outlets.
Well, he just got out of rehab. He's trying to.
His lawyer has been, disputing the claims. There were a lot of women that came out, kind of dogpiled on him, and then like he got divorced from his wife, and his wife kind of didn't really come to his defense. So everyone's wondering what's going on.
Are any of them missing body parts that he's digested?
But one woman
that we know of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just do a stomach pump on the guy.
Well, one woman claimed that he carved his initials into her stomach, and so like
shit right there.
and a lot of talk about him like cheating on his wife, being abusive, all this other stuff. And because of this, he's been losing out on movie roles, stuff that he was booked in, like they fired him, and there was a lot of talk about
serves him right for being an actor.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about him being recast in this movie, even though it was already done, and
or doing the Kevin Spacey treatment.
That's what I mean. Like with all the money in the world, they recast Kevin Spacey.
They should have replaced him with Kevin Spacey.
But ultimately, they decided just to, keep him in the movie because it was going to be too expensive and too hard to like reshoot everything. And the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, he seems fine to me, like he's an okay actor. But it didn't really take me out of the movie. But I do know that there are a lot of people out there who are like, oh, this is probably going to be Armie Hammer's last film. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Danny, did
Armie
you wanna
Hammer
chime in on
should
that?
make a cannibalism film now. He absolutely should.
Yeah.
And just like, have any of you guys seen the trailer for that Nicolas Cage film where he's playing?
Oh, the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Where he's basically playing himself.
yeah, Armie Hammer needs to do a film like that, except where he is a raving cannibal. And
Well, there was cannibalism in The Lone Ranger. If you
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe Army and Johnny Depp should get back together and make a Lone Ranger movie where the big bad is some crazy like ex-wife or something of one of them. I don't know, or both of them. That'd be
Amber
fun.
Heard is the big bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I buy that for $1. Yeah, no. All I was gonna say is Armie Hammer. I don't think this will be his last movie because he spent these last he just got out of rehab. Him and his wife just publicly came out and said, even though they're not getting back together, that they are they still care about each other, love each other, working.
Oh, they're
on
still
being good
besties. That's
co-parents.
really nice. That's nice.
So and this article just came out like shit. I want to say I just read it like the other day. So I don't know. I feel like he's doing that. What do they call it? The redemption tour or whatever. The
apology
actors,
tour.
Yeah, the apology tour. They all these bad guys go through it. Hey man, Mel
They did
Gibson.
Norville episode about it.
That's okay. Yeah.
Where Lamar basically keeps screwing up the apology.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Death on the Nile. I highly recommend people go check it out. It was a nice little mystery movie.
So is it worth? Is it only in theaters?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
theater only exclusive.
Oh my God, a movie that's only in theaters for the first 45 days, right? Whatever
Oh,
will we
Is
do?
it 45 days or?
I don't know.
That's
I'm
what
just-
everybody's doing these days.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's all different. Like what's the deal? I didn't read the article, but like Matrix. What was the lawsuit about that? Or
So the lawsuit that that Village Roadshow, which is the production company that produced the Matrix Resurrections, brought against Warner Brothers, is saying that Warner Brothers sabotaged the profit of the movie by doing the day and date release on both streaming. And they pointed to Spider-Man No Way Home as proof that a dedicated theatrical window brings in more money than if you do day and date.
Wow, we're gonna use a movie that beat Avatar as the example. That's like,
But-
I said that when someone mentioned that on one of my streams, I said, my counterclaim to that is make a movie that doesn't suck, and
Yeah.
people will go to the theater,
or that
to see
people
it.
actually want to watch.
Yeah, that's
Nobody wanted a Matrix 4.
Yeah,
Nobody.
nobody wanted a Matrix 4 to start, and the Matrix 4 really, really sucked.
yeah.
And so
Have you ever seen a movie like that before, where like they have footage from the previous movies the movie as a part of the movie? That was kind of.
Dude,
back
that was
in the 80s, that was pretty common practice, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, that was a straight mid-season clip show.
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
the
like
television.
Friends or something. Where like,
Yeah,
But it's always bad when you cut back to a better movie.
Yeah.
You're just reminding the audience of like how
previously
how much this
on
was
the
like.
Matrix, and it's like
Real
really?
quick,
You're gonna do
Dennis,
that?
Gal Gadot was Gal Gadot in the movie. Like she's the same character in every movie.
Gal
she
Gadot
plays.
does not have a lot of range. I'm
No.
sorry.
No.
She,
But man,
she's
she looked good.
she's a pretty face, and that's about it.
Yeah, I always think, Danny, you're muted. I keep on thinking back to that show she just came out with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock.
Oh, Red
Red
Notice.
Notice,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's It's just flat. She's the same baseline that she is with every single one of her movies through the whole thing. So yeah, cardboard. Yeah.
She just happens to fit the personality profile of Wonder Woman. And
She looks really good in that outfit too.
That accent of hers is hot too. I mean,
I actually think that as Wonder Woman, she was slightly miscast, but no, I think she sounds great. Her face looks great, but her body is too small
for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's just me.
I don't. I kind of like her.
So we've talked about. I'm
not saying today. I would say if she was coming at me saying, I am for you. I wouldn't say, oh no.
Yeah.
But I just.
All right. So enough talking about Gal Gadot. Let's talk about the thing that everyone really cares about, which is Star Trek.
I thought you were going to say wrestling. Damn.
No, nobody cares about wrestling.
I know.
So we have a special guest on here on the panel today, Salty Trekker.
And when you say special,
yes, very special. Like you are the Star Trek expert. In my opinion.
am not the Star Trek expert.
You are a Star Trek expert. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is there's a lot of stuff going on in the Star Trek world. So first of all, we've got confirmation that Star Trek Picard is going to be ending with 3 seasons, so we're only going to be getting
thank God
2 more seasons of Star Trek Picard, and it will premiere on Thursday, March 3rd, so next month, for 10 episodes, and they're going to be shooting season 3 back to back. Star Trek Discovery has officially been renewed for season 5, which I believe is going to be their final season. Strange New Worlds is already renewed for season 2. It's going to be coming out in May. Then we have.
Have you seen the poster for Strange New Worlds?
No, not yet.
Pike on a horse, that one?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Star Trek Lower Decks has been renewed for a 10-episode long 4th season. I still have not seen season 2. Season 3 will drop sometime this year. And Star Trek Prodigy is currently airing on Paramount Plus. There will be a mid-season break this month, and then 10 more episodes that make up the second half of season 1 will drop at an unspecified date later this year. So a lot of movement on the Trek front. We still haven't heard anything about the Section 31 potential show.
What about the Academy, the Starfleet Academy?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, there's nothing official on that stuff. There's still a lot of speculation and stuff like that.
And what about on the movie front? Aren't there like 2 movies?
There's still talk about a movie. They gave a release date, but they haven't given, and they named a director, but they haven't really, and it's a female director, and they're like, ooh, we have a female director, like that matters.
Dude, did you see the pitch for this guy who wants to do an anthology, a Star Trek anthology series where he goes back and like...
By the way, Matthew, I'm showing that's the poster.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Like it was talking about doing like, one episode would just be like Archer, from Enterprise, like a few years later. Has anybody else heard about this? I just read this yesterday. I'll have to find it. I'll put it in the chat.
Here's the problem with Trek, is that obviously we know that Kurtzman, helming Trek thus far, doesn't really understand, at least from the classic sense of what Star Trek fans have always enjoyed, doesn't really get it. I wouldn't call him a hack, and I think that's dangerous. And the reason I say it's dangerous is because A, never underestimate your opponent, and B, he's not a hack. He is fully capable of producing a quality show. He's just not capable of producing the show you want.
No, he's totally destroyed Star Trek. Like,
right.
Gene Roddenberry is like rolling over, and maybe hack's not the right word, but as far as he's like what he's done to Star Trek.
Gene Roddenberry wouldn't give a crap. Gene Roddenberry cares about dollar signs. He didn't. Don't give me the Roddenberry vision speech, because that Roddenberry was Zephyr Cochrane in First Contact. That's Roddenberry. And so, no, that is absolutely Roddenberry.
I love that. That was good.
But so I know people like to use the term hack when they say like J.J. Abrams or whatever, but these are talented people. And in fact, this is the problem when people say, oh, well, nobody's watching Discovery. You do know and I looked the stuff up, and I was doing, and I've been trying to scratch. I was scratching my head about it, just like everybody else. You know, CBS has the #1 show in America. It's called
Yellowstone?
It's called NCIS.
NCIS.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been running for 20 years.
Mhm.
All right, so they know what makes a big hit, and if you look and examine the writing on, you guys do writing stuff. If you look at the writing on NCIS, you compare it to the writing on Discovery, it's the same damn writing. Okay? It is the same writing on those two shows. The difference is that Mark Harmon's been playing the part for 20 years, so he's a little more, into the, you get his character because he's been doing it for a long time. Where the Discovery cast were just kind of thrown into it, and they're like, okay, but the style of the writing is the same crap. It's on the nose. It's stupid. It's nonsensical in a lot of ways, but it's the same style of writing. They're just trying to do NCIS in space.
I never really thought about it that way before, but you're spot on.
Yeah,
You're right.
And so what they're trying to do is replicate the success of NCIS in the Star Trek world. Now, I don't know if they've been successful with it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they have been. Because as much as we like to hem and haw about this ain't Star Trek has always been about the nerds, right? And the nerds, and we're all nerds, right? Hey, your podcast is not called The Salty Normal People, right?
Well, maybe it should be.
Yeah, no, and so here's the problem, is that nerds are generally outcasts, but nerds are also something else. We tend to be intelligent. And I'm not saying that to boast, it's just a fact. Nerds tend to, because we tend to, like, for fun, we calculate, the strength yield of a photon torpedo and how many cities could it vaporize just because we want to. How fast is warp 6? We calculate that because we're nerds. Right.
We like to learn fictitious, made up languages.
Yeah, exactly.
Kapla!
Jolan True. It makes no sense, but that's what we do, right? Now, remember, half of America has an IQ below 100. If you get those people to watch the same television show, you have the biggest hit of all time.
Yep.
And so,
Lowest common denominator.
right. So when we pull our hair out and scream about how stupid this show is, guess what? That's the makings of a hit.
Yeah,
It's depressing.
it is.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't necessarily assume that just because it's stupid that it's a failure.
And they also get metrics from people like me who hate watch their stuff too. So
Right.
Yeah.
there's more people like me out there.
And that's the problem. A lot of us
it's
nerds
just
are
like-
watching it because we either hate watching it, or some of us that have, like, I watch it for two reasons. A, I have a YouTube channel and I talk about it.
Yep.
B, you know what? I'm married to Trek, and till death do us part. I
get it.
For better or for worse, and this
Only
is the
reason
worst.
I watch Discovery.
Yeah, so I'm going to continue to watch it in the hopes that it gets better.
We can sit there and watch it. We can yell at and throw stuff at our television and go, "What are you doing?"
Right.
Yeah.
But I also know that Buffy down the street, who thinks that a really intense conversation is about the new flavor of coffee that Starbucks just came out with, that show is designed for her.
Yep.
And so when they have these great conversations about stuff and that makes we roll our eyes and say, why are you saying that? That's a direct violation of all the continuity that Trek is all set up. She's like, what does continuity mean? And they don't care because they're making the show for her.
Yeah. Michael, do you think Brave New World is going to be any good?
Strange New World. I hope so. And the thing is, the reason I'm hopeful about Strange New Worlds is at least the early marketing seems to be aimed at us. It doesn't seem to be aimed at Buffy.
Right.
When you
And
look
Anson Mount was great, and I'm
Mhm.
excited. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay, Dork. But if you look at I don't know, do you prefer Dork or do you prefer Danny? Because your name says
Either
Dork,
one,
not-
man. Yeah,
okay.
Dork's fine.
Okay.
It sounds funnier.
But when first of all, Anson Mount was and Ethan Peck were the shining lights of season two.
Yeah, best part of season 2.
Yeah, they were awesome in season 2. And in fact, Ethan Peck made Michael Burnham tolerable. The two of them, which is an amazing thing. When the two of them were bickering, I actually enjoyed it. That was some of the only time that I enjoyed Michael Burnham dialogue. And so Ethan Peck and Anson Mount, I have full faith in as far as those two. Number one, we only got to see her, eat a hamburger and do a couple of little things in the finale. So we don't really know much about her yet. And sing a stupid song in the short trek, but in my mind, the short trek is non-canonical. I don't care what anybody says because
I haven't even watched those.
you don't want to. Trust me, don't watch it. It will break your
Are those
soul.
like YouTube things?
No, the short trek, it's on CBS or Paramount Plus, but
it is.
But they have a thing where number one and Spock sing a song together, and so,
like a musical episode.
Yeah, they're stuck in the elevator together, so they sing Modern Major General together.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah,
it's.
I was just about to praise Rebecca Romaine for
but those short treks are so weird. It's just like, what can we do to like be really cringy, but maybe try to have a little bit of fun, and then it always misses the mark. And
granted, the trouble with Edward was genuinely funny as long as you don't think of it as a canonical.
Well, weren't the short treks important to understanding some of season 2 of Discovery?
Like they had people in the short treks that they introduced new characters that play like pivotal roles in the series.
Yeah, I know.
That if you didn't watch the short trek, you were like completely lost who a character was in the actual show.
But I did.
It was weird. It's like, who is this person and why are they important? But
like the what's her name from Stowaway.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I just want to say to Dennis, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound mean. So if I'm sounding mean,
it's not that you're sounding mean. It's when people call you dork, it sounds like they're being mean to you.
Oh, okay. I'm stupid. Never mind.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean. I am.
No. Please call me dork.
That's why I was asking. I don't want to sound like I'm insulting you. So, but. Yeah, so I have hope for it because they sound like, yes, this is going to be episodic. This is going to be optimistic. This is a return to classic Trek.
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, I put in the private chat that thing I was talking about. It's called Tales of the Federation. If that happens, I'll be stoked. And so check that out if you get some time. But it's
basically Akiva Goldsman, the genius behind Batman and Robin and Star Trek Discovery. He wants to take classic characters and do featured episodes in an anthology format, which, what could go wrong screwing with canon like that?
Well, lots of stuff, but it also sounds intriguing. It could be cool, especially if you bring in you have, and it doesn't have to be
my biggest problem with all of this stuff, whether it's Star Wars or Star Trek, is that when you go back, you're just regurgitating stuff where you should be going forward. You should be moving the story forward. And it gets really annoying, especially with Star Trek, because they've gone to this well so many times, thanks to J.J. Abrams. We're I want to see, with Discovery, they went 1,000 years in the future.
That's what I was going to say. At least Discovery.
That was a good move.
But everything else, it's just they keep rehashing old stuff.
Here's my thing. My biggest problem with all of these new Star Trek things that are coming out, what all of it means is that every week we're going to have a new episode of that stupid talk show with that asshole Will Wheaton.
Hey guys, did you notice that we have a super chat?
Yes, from Joker Voice for $5.
Nice.
Great stream, Salty Trekker. You've been great. Shameless plug to also check out my channel. Danny Dork will be a guest this month. #
Awesome.
Keep talking. Thank you for the $5, Joker. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joker.
You're doing a good job of moderating that chat too. Keep it up, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Joker.
Well, I'm hoping that first of all, Will Wheaton, I'll tell you this: I have a strict no hate policy.
Oh, I can't stand him.
I try not to like when people call J.J. Abrams Jar Jar. I get on people about that. Wow. Yeah.
That's great.
I will tell you, I don't like to be disrespectful to people, but I have said this and I absolutely mean this. If Will Wheaton comes to Nashville for Comic-Con, and Lore Reloaded and I have talked about this because Lore lives in the same town as me. We're friends in real life. He will film it. I will do it. I will pay for the VIP package. I will walk up to Will Wheaton. I will get the autographed picture of him, and then I will rip it up in his face.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing.
I would not disrespect any other person like that, but I would do it to Will Wheaton.
Man, I was worried where you were going with that. For a second.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, because
the fact that he was actually wishing for people to die on social media. I don't care if he disagrees with them politically. I get that. He's a lefty and he doesn't like people that are right wing. That's fine. Just like people that are right wing disagree with people that are left wing. That's fine. You guys can
disagree without hating people or wishing.
Yeah, but you don't say, "Oh, I want them to die."
No, exactly. Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, no,
that is freaking. You need counseling. Sick.
Sadly, that's a big thing, and not to get into politics, but that's a big thing with people, I guess, quote unquote, on the left, is they feel like they have such this moral high ground or whatever. They got this pompous attitude where like, well, if you don't disagree with me, you don't deserve to live. You're just too damn stupid to live. It's very condescending. You know what I mean? Like I feel anyway.
By the way, everyone watching that screen cap we have of Will Wheaton comes from our Die Hard ripoff episode where Matt Vader very eloquently said, "Fuck you, Will Wheaton."
That was Toy Soldiers, right?
For Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. But
so I have no respect for the man.
No,
it's and I was until he posted that I basically I was like, yeah, whatever. He's Will Wheaton, he's
harmless, but
he's the Jar Jar Binks of Star Trek. He's just annoying. And then he comes out and he starts saying how he wants people to die because he
and how is that any different than like people accusing?
Yeah, he's just
I don't want to
hate. Yeah, we don't need to get into it too much. But he's Will Wheaton. I mean, he's a verb.
Will Wheaton is now an adjective.
Yeah.
It's just a way to describe someone who is such a hateful, vile person that they would wish someone to be dead just because they disagree.
Yeah, that's
you guys know what's happening right now, right?
Matt,
look at Matt right now. His brain is just going, I'm going to clip this.
I'm so sorry.
We're going to put it out there.
Mean to derail this.
and we're going to make get a million hits because this video is going to go viral because the salty nerds are talking mad shit about Will Wheaton. It's like, look, it's the gears are going.
Let's get Will Wheaton.
He's thinking about that tattoo that we're going to get on your ass because it's happening.
Oh, yeah. 1 million subs. And Vader gets a tattoo of "I love Will Wheaton" on his butt.
Never gonna happen.
Just a picture of Will Wheaton going like this on his back.
Yeah,
entire back.
You got a full back tramp
stamp.
Oh no, the full back.
No. That's funny.
Oh my god.
So, is anyone actually like excited for the future of Trek right now?
No,
not really.
I wouldn't say excited. I would say
hopeful, yeah, and only for Strange New Worlds for me.
I'm excited for the future of Star Wars right now. I'm hopeful for the future of Trek.
I'm not excited for anything. I'm such a miserable old fat bastard right now. I just get so annoyed because I can't use
the term old fat bastard. Isn't that like a rapper or something?
Probably. It's probably copyright.
No, that's ODB. That's
I can't even get excited about things like Lord of the Rings television series or anything like that. It's upsetting.
Oh, that's gonna be.
It's upsetting.
Woke of the Rings.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's just I want something to look forward to. that we can
Amazing
all like
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, real quick before we wrap up for the day, let's do some wrestling talk. Danny, take it away. What are we? What's going on in the wide world of professional wrestling?
All right, so Vader, you're not right. You haven't been watching lately.
I watched not really. It's been a crazy week.
When last we spoke, what do you know about CM Punk? Where are you at with that?
I don't you're just gonna have to fill me in. The only thing I saw this week was when the Chris Jericho and the boys had a little argument in the middle of the
a little lovers quarrel. Yeah. So I'm all about the CM Punk stuff. And so he's been feuding with MJF and in CM Punk's hometown of Chicago. Did you hear about this?
No, go ahead. I know they had a really good match.
They had a great match. They had a banger. It was like 45 minutes long. But CM Punk lost that match, not once, but twice. So what happened was he was choking him out, but he cheated because he was using like tape. Got caught, so the referee started the match, and then Wardlow came out. It's like 30 minutes later, snuck him the ring, and then he, cold cocks Punk with the ring, knocks him out, gets him for the 1, 2, 3. So Punk came out so I think that was last week. So then this week, Punk comes out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll get to WWE."
Don't get distracted.
Sorry. So so Punk comes out and he's like, "I want my rematch." He's trying to get Wardlow to turn, just saying stuff to Wardlow that everybody's thinking anyway.
They've been building up to this Wardlow flip.
Yeah, which I can't wait. So anyway, he's like, "I tell you what, if you can find anybody that'll tag with you, and you can actually win a match against FTR because they're part of the Pinnacle," he's like, "You can have your rematch." So that was at the beginning of the episode. Then by the end of the episode, and I believe they were the main event, and then CM Punk comes out with Jon Moxley as his partner. So
sweet.
Yeah. And of course they won. So CM Punk's gonna get his rematch, which, like, who would you want to win? Because the fanboy in me, the mark in me, would love CM Punk to win, but then you're going back, you're like, it's 50-50 booking. We're trying to build new stars. So even though I think the right play for business is for CM Punk to lose again. Yeah. Just to
I think they'll do it 2 out of 3. CM Punk will probably win this one. And
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Because not being an expert on wrestling at all, how do you cheat in a fake sport?
Well, it's all part of the story, man. It's like it's just like watching a television show. It's just you cheat by you have established
set of rules. He cheated and he got busted, and it's like, but wait a minute, this whole thing is fake. So how do you cheat?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I do.
I mean, you guys do know it's fake, right?
Oh yeah. The fun part about wrestling is that it is all scripted, and you got writers back there.
Okay, I just want to make sure you weren't completely.
No, they're basically writing soap operas.
Yeah, it's just
I'm surprised more people like my wife don't watch wrestling because it's got a bunch of guys and they're basically doing soap operas on screen.
Yeah, most of my friends in real life who like wrestling are female actually. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to touch on a couple of highlights. So that was the CM Punk thing. That's going to be going pretty awesome. Britt Baker is still the freaking GOAT. Love her to death. They brought in Mercedes Martinez, and it's starting to cause a little rift between her and that her bodyguard, whose name is eluding me at the moment. And then Hangman Adam Page won that Texas Death Match against Lance Archer, and it looks like Adam Cole is going to be his. Why
do they even call it a death match? Come on.
Sorry. It just lets you know it's going to be bloody and gory, which it was. And so Adam Cole's positioned to be the next challenger for the title. Did we talk about, or did you hear about Bryan Danielson?
He tried to team up with somebody, right?
With Moxley. Yeah. So that's still out there. Okay. And then so I mean, Keith Lee just debuted.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
I mean, there's a lot of like
and
AEW 's
Jeff
on
they're
fire.
setting up a Matt and Jeff Hardy getting
Yeah.
reunited and
They
stuff.
had Matt.
Yeah.
They had Matt like leave through the crowd, like that's some real inside baseball shit, because that's why Jeff got fired from WWE.
Right.
But no, AEW's on fire, man. I'm loving it. Like it's like, in their 60-minute show that was on last, like, Rampage, man, that shit flies by. It's like, and it's so good. There's like no wasted time.
I wish I had more time to actually watch wrestling again, but I just don't right now.
No, I know, and I tell you, but
I have to get caught up on YouTube clips.
Yeah, if you had to choose though, man, AEW is where it's at.
Yeah.
All right, and just because Joker Voice brought it up, I know I'm running long, Matt, Kadish, I'm sorry. The Elimination Chamber is a week from today, and so it's gonna. I guess the biggest match on it's going to be, how Bobby Lashley just won.
Yeah.
Was last right in the wrestler. Okay. Bobby Lashley just won the title from Brock Lesnar at the last pay-per-view. So for whatever reason, they're making Bobby Lashley defend his title inside the Elimination Chamber. So it's going to be Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, and this new kid, Austin Theory, I think is his name. So, and the big rumor is that everybody thinks that Lesnar's going to win to get the title because he and Roman Reigns are fighting at WrestleMania, and that'll be
unification.
It'll be a title unification.
Yeah,
which if they do that, Roman Reigns better win, because Roman Reigns is the only thing in WWE that's worth a shit. I mean, like the interview he gave last night was gold. I mean, the dude is just gold. Like he says, he's in God mode. Like he's literally the only good thing in WWE. So, and that was Stacey Cena, like Matt Riddle. But
all right,
and that was my 2 minutes turned into 10.
Your wrestling minute from the
thank you.
Night LV. All right. You're muted, Matt.
A lot of things to talk about today, and we talked about them. So why don't we go around the panel, and you guys can tell everyone where they can find more of you. Michael, let's start with you.
Well, you can find me at my channel of Salty Trekker, which I do live streams generally on Monday at 9. We do an open panel live stream called Mike's Drinking Time with Pals. So, you're invited to come on with your drink of choice, and we just hang out and talk about whatever. On Tuesday, I do a live stream at 8. These are all Central Standard Time. Tuesday, I do a live stream at 8 with Laura Reloaded called The Fat Overlords. And we usually talk about, we've been talking about Mandalorian. Now we'll be talking about Discovery, because it's back on, basically just going through whatever series is running. And then Friday, we have a double feature of live streams every week where we do Jeopardy. You guys, so it's 8 o'clock Central Standard. We run for an hour and a half. First come, first serve. The first 6 people that come onto into the backstage of our stream room get to be contestants in an actual Jeopardy game.
Oh shit!
And
I can subscribe. That sounds like something I can.
It's a lot of fun. Most of the questions are Trek related, and here's the trick though. One category is always related to the second live stream of the evening, which is from the week before. So, and that is Mystery Movie Night with Matthew. And so what we do is after the Jeopardy stream, we watch a movie with my friend Matthew. And so the movie is, we've been going through all the Star Trek movies. So next week we will be on Nemesis. And so this last week we watched Insurrection. We watch usually a short beforehand, so we've been watching an episode of Trek beforehand. and we kind of watch it Mystery Science Theater style, where we cut up and make jokes about the movie while we're watching it. We have a separate screening room that you can watch the movie at in a view-only mode while we're streaming on YouTube, with giving our commentary.
Do you have a Jeopardy category called Technobabble?
Sometimes, yes.
And is the answer always Tetrions?
No, but well, there's sometimes Tetrions, sometimes Tachyons, sometimes there's all sorts. It's sometimes like I'll tell you a category that he did last time is the first appearance of the Borg. We tell you a series, you tell us the first episode that the Borg appeared in.
Ooh, so Vader, man, you and I got to do this together. I think this would be hella fun because like we're both Star Trek nerds, and I'd love to test my Star Trek IQ against yours.
My friend John DeMarco does all the questions, and some of them are.
So is this you? Because your name's Salty Trekker, but when I look it up on YouTube, it's youtube.com/anti-trekker.
Yes, because Anti-Trekker was my name before. Mm-hmm. The reason I changed it from Anti-Trekker to Salty Trekker, and that's how I found out about you guys. It's kind of funny because I changed it to Salty Trekker, and then I found out somebody said, "Hey, there's a Salty Nerds podcast." I said, "No, I had no idea." Yeah. And but I changed it from Anti-Trekker to Salty Trekker because a lot of people thought I literally created a channel because I hated Star Trek.
Yeah. Well,
and so I did change it to Salty Trekker.
We hate things because we love them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much my week.
Right on, man. Well, I'm telling you, Vader. I mean, we got to do that. It sounds fun.
Dude, my trivia knowledge is weak right now. I haven't. You
got to flex that muscle, bro. That's why we got to.
Flex your trivia muscle.
Yeah,
you'll like. There's a visual category we do every week where we show you a picture of the Eagle Moss ships.
Yeah, I have some right over here.
Yeah. So my friend Thomas, he's crazy. Thomas has all of them. Like he started collecting them when they first started. He has every single one.
Yeah, that's a lot, and I did too. I recently had to sell them. But,
he has every single one. You should see. He has this incredible an entire wall display case. It's beautiful.
In fact, I have 3 display cases that are made of glass. If anybody would like to buy them, because they're empty in my garage.
How much?
I might take you up on that, Danny.
I know. I was just gonna say maybe.
Yeah, $50 each. Take them, please. Get them all.
It's funny, all this stuff behind me and over here that you guys can't see. I got to go actually buy boxes because we're looking for a house to rent pretty soon.
So Danny, where can people find out more about you?
Well, as far as the social medias go, I use Twitter more than anything, and that is Dork Knight LV. I have the Discord app. So I've got this I'm not trying to brag, but I got a pretty boss, like 4-monitor setup here. And Discord is on my tall monitor, 24, like it's always on. Yeah. So I love interacting with the people at saltynerddiscord.com.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fun community.
We got a nice little community over there.
I know, but the way he says it, like the people, like you're above them.
Oh wow, man, maybe I am an asshole.
Interact with the little people.
No, just like with all the patrons, the fans, the fellow nerds, dorks, geeks, whatever.
It's growing, man. It
is. Man. There's we got like 150-ish people in there, which is and we're talking every day and. So that's a ton of fun. I've been doing. I've become a regular guest now on the Pulp Culture Minefield Friday show, which is at noon, and I've been having a blast with those guys. I had a really fun time recently where we got to talk to one of the co-creators of Evil Dead, and I didn't realize it until midway in the damn conversation, and then all of a sudden
Gary and Keith know people. They got a lot of people that they know, man. So
it's so that's been a lot of fun. I've been guesting for the past few weeks on Mondays with the Babylon 5 with Fat Steven Seagal, where we just talk about 2 episodes of Babylon 5, which is a lot of fun.
Look at you. You're all over the place.
I'm just, what did the podcast guys call it? The Kato Kalin of
That's appropriate.
of streaming. But you know, and then obviously I'm here on Saturdays. If people want to check out my work, it's the same screen name at Facebook, but that's my, it's my business page. And I'm actually, speaking of work, I've been working on some tunes for the Salty Nerd crew, which I'm enjoying. And I've also we're about to wrap up 5 tunes for Cosmic Comics. Those will be coming out soon. About finished with the Blue Dogs website, and almost done with the redesign of the CC Repairs website, which you guys will we'll talk about CC Repairs, and you'll learn a lot more about them later. My good friend Lamar is the owner over there. So yeah, so that I think that's everything for me.
Sounds good. And Matt Vader 74, where can people find more of you? And why don't you tell them about your big writing debut this week?
My big writing debut.
Yes.
I wrote like 3 small paragraphs about Futurama. It was really hard and really tough. And then you edited it and fixed it and made it look presentable. And
is this for the website?
Yeah. So saltynerd.com. There is a blog section where Matthew up there, we're trying to turn it into one of those shit tier.
I'd love to help
news sites.
I do that shit for Cosmic.
It's just more content for our Salty Nerd fans.
So what'd you write about? You said Futurama?
Oh, it was just a little Futurama episode about what we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay.
But Matt, I think we're putting up like 3 or 4 little articles a day in there. Matt is. He has to put more stuff on his plate and add more content.
Yeah, I noticed you wrote a thing about
just we're putting content on the website, at the blog, and also you can always see me on our YouTube channel here Saturday mornings. Our 3 shows that we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we also do
Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Monday. Yeah, our Monday.
Well, you do the premieres Friday.
That would explain why he doesn't show up.
Well, no. So like we have our regular shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then we have our live streams Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah, we put out a lot of content.
But you guys have been doing a lot of premieres though. So even though the show's not live, you're chatting live with people.
So every Friday morning at 10, our weekly SMP show comes out. That's our evergreen show where we do talk about movies and we review 3 movies, and I host the premiere for that every Friday in the chat, and
which is cool.
It is fun. It's a fun thing that we're trying to do regularly.
And PJO, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere you can listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Just type in Salty Nerd Podcast in the search, or you can go to saltynerdpodcast.com in your browser, and it'll take you right there.
Just do that from your phone, Mom. She's got like a Samsung.
See, I got to learn how to do all that stuff. You guys are just hooked up.
Well, Matt can learn you. So yeah.
Or you can visit dorknightdesigns.com and I can help you with
no shilling. Quit shilling here. This isn't Dork Night stream.
Yeah, but I do want to encourage people to go check out saltynerd.com. All of our episodes are up there. Every time we publish a new audio episode, it gets posted there. Same thing on the YouTube end of things. New videos get posted there. So you can find all of our content on spot. And if you go to the blog section, we are posting daily news updates. So it's a good, like if you like to stay up to date on like what's going on in the movie industry or the TV show industry or the streaming industry, we're covering it over there. And we're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
TikTok.
Yeah. So like if you guys want to share our content around, we would really appreciate it. And of course, be sure to tell your friends about subscribing to our channel so we can get that tattoo on Matt Vader before
he
July
really
4th.
wants to do the Wesley tattoo.
And if you haven't already, smash that like button if you're watching us right now.
Well, we're really shilly the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, you guys are pretty bad.
Michael, thank you so much for being a part of our Saturday live stream.
It's great meeting you, man. I followed.
We hope to have you back very soon. And to everyone out there, thank you all so much for coming by, especially those of you who gave us super chats, Joker Voice. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. And we will see you next Saturday for another edition of Salty Saturdays. And as always,